the start of the year, we had an IT consultant come to the school to look at how we were going to improve our IT facilities around the school and how we get more teachers involved in IT. And what he did was to put up a way in which we could all write to a document at the same time on a data show setup. And I looked at that and I thought, well, that's really interesting. If we can have 10 people around a table writing comments onto something that shows up on a screen straight away, I'm going, well, how can we put this into our school and use this as a monitoring and tracking system for our senior school teachers in SACE? So then I've gone, okay, I've asked him how he actually did that, and what it operates through is Google Apps, in which the document sits in cyberspace, shall we say, on the cloud, and everyone can access it, and it works through Google Apps basically. So what I did was then I found out, we had a couple of IT people in the school, so I found out from them how am I going to set this document up so that teachers can all access it. So what happened was it was quite simple really. I mean, you just got into the Google Drive and it allows you to set up these sheets and you can edit and do whatever you like on the document. So another teacher imported all the Year 12 students' names and put it straight on that document. I then put a number of columns into it, and then we got mentor group teachers to actually go into that document and put in every subject every student was doing at the time. We then had a discussion, I then had a discussion with several teachers as to, well, you know, how are we going to actually manage this? And one of the teachers suggested, well, why don't we use colours, you know, and why don't we look at a traffic light colours? And I said, well, brilliant. Okay, how are we going to actually decide what's going to mean what? So we said, okay, because it's going to be a living document, so teachers can go in and change those colours at any time. So what we decided was, well, if we put green, it means that the student is currently up to date. Now that colour can be changed, so it can be changed to an orange. So an orange would mean, well, they're fallen behind a little bit now, they're not quite up to date anymore. A red colour would mean that we're not doing any work. We haven't even started any work, we haven't completed anything. So we put this to the staff, we managed to get them all passwords to get onto it. That was a bit tricky at first, but they embraced it. So we decided that this would be a good place to start because it's quite simple. All teachers take computers to their classrooms. They all have to mark attendances on day map, so they can open up that traffic light system while they're in the classroom and actually change colours as they're going along. The next thing was, well, how are we going to advertise this to students? So then what I started to do was to print off weekly copies of whatever was on the document and putting them up in the study hub. There seemed a bit of opposition to that at first, but then I really had 2 complaints from students, and the rest of the students were like, well, what's going on here? But then after a while it was like, it was interesting. There were a number of things that happened with that, was that students started to bug their teachers. Okay, look, you haven't changed it, you know, I believe I'm a green or I'm an orange, or why am I still a red? So that was really interesting because it was kind of like a thing that students were now monitoring their own performances in some ways. Of course, the ones that were all red were going to be red for a whole bunch of other reasons, which that was the other bit, was that it really helped me as a person that's managing SACE Improvement. I could go and look at that document and go, okay, this kid's red here in these subjects, or this is all red, or what's going on. So I could actually contact that student pretty much straight away and start talking to them about what was going on. And teachers, you know, I have not found it to be an onerous thing to do. They found it quite a simple exercise to go in and just change it. The things that are holding us back at the moment are some IT type issues. We've had some issues with our servers and things like that. So those are not really teachers not wanting to get onto a system, they're more about technical things. The principal and the executive leadership team supported it, and it seems like there's been a lot of interest in it. I have not really heard teachers really saying that, you know, they didn't like doing it or wasn't effective. It's actually been effective for them as well, because mentor group teachers can see what students in their classes are doing whom they don't teach, and actually everyone gets a much better idea of what everyone is doing. So there's been those sorts of really good advantages to that. The next stage to it, which is we haven't really enforced it, but next year we will go to a similar system where a teacher can actually create their own document. Well, we've actually created this tab system where you could go into the system and you can click onto your subject, and when you click onto your subject, up will come the names of the students in your subject area, and you can then create columns where you've got all your assignments in. And so now you can traffic light your actual subject. So as a coordinator, I can go into the individual subject and see what that student is doing in that subject, what work they've completed or not completed. So then I can have a conversation with that student. Our intervention and support people can have a conversation with that student. The teacher has more control over what they're doing. Well, in 2015, what I'd really like to see happen at the school is our mentor group teachers having much more of a relationship with their students, particularly in Year 11 and 12. And what I really see the role of the mentor group teacher being is being someone who really does mentor that group of 15 or 20 students that are in their class. And what do we mean by mentoring? Well, they become that central point for the student to connect with, and that connection could be anything from looking at what would be future pathways for that student, what would be the subjects, are they in the right subjects? I mean, within the first 1 or 2 weeks you could have that conversation. Does the student need to be changed out of something? Do they need to be in that vet pathway? You know, are they wanting to go on to getting an ATAR? Are they doing the right subjects for that? Can they handle it? You know, have they got all their compulsories? You know, how are we going to go about the research project? All those things, which are all massive conversations that students want to have, and actually rely on someone really understanding all that to give them and deliver them the right kind of information. That's really going to be important, and I really see that as being crucial to people or students at this school being successful.